all sorts of skills.
He believes the Hardy Boys could have done it.
Understood. This has been of limited use.
No problem. I wish...
The unpromising race pupil returns.
Yes?
Everything's still cool. Me?
This man probably comes from Seaguy.
Very cool.
The speaker's below. You should go over and ask him about paying for those sneakers with your net worth.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything. Sure thing. Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday, looking like they'd just taken off their Wild Pines overalls. They asked if I have a police weapon to sell. I told them I already sold it. They went their way. It was a trip, but you know, all sorts of people come here, asking for all sorts of things.
Maybe Claire really is tracking down your gun.
People as oleaginous as Everard seem like they're lying, even when they're really being truthful.
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it right now.
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her. Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it? It's possible in these parts of town. We ought to find her and discourage her from taking justice into her own hands.
Sure, man. Traffic. I'm sorry, officer, but now that I think...
That sure narrows down our list of suspects.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. I didn't really know what to make of it, but I know it. I doubt it, but I can try. I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business, bad for everyone.
He doesn't know anything. The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors. What a shirt. All other shirts pale in comparison to the muscular man with ant. You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and
I used to be very...
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito, bullet holes, and an RCM sticker.
Yes, for sending mail.
You drop the white envelope in the darkness. It lands with a soft thud on what sounds like a couple of letters. About a week's worth of mail as collected in there. They'll empty this very soon. Probably did the right thing. You can't trust that slug Everard. You know he's going to play you somehow.
All right, let's go back to Everard. If we don't mention anything to him, he won't know before it's too late.
All around you, rain falls on the great city of Rivershaw. Rain drips from the eaves and floods the gutters, washing the filth away. Winter's grip on the city is loosening. The spring thaw is here. Humid, your coat shields you from the rain while the city shivers around you. Sheets of rain over the water, a flight of stairs leading into the ocean. Wave after wave washing the coast of Martinez. with its motorboats and gently swaying reeds. The ruins of a half-sunken sea fort crumble on an inlet beyond the Bay of Revachol. Ghosts rise into the sky. Urban coastline, rain dripping off Eternite-covered roofs. Cinder blocks left over from half-finished construction. A defunct research and development building, once seized by revolutionaries. An old wooden church stands on stilts above the water. Coal City, end of all lines. The skyscrapers of La Delta, the financial district. Faint golden light seeps from the office windows. The great gates of the industrial harbor are locked. A chill runs down your back. You shudder like an animal trying to shake water from its hide. You shudder looking down at your feet. Dirty rainwater runs veins into the plaza's snow. You realize you have no shoes on. Your feet are red with cold. From the corner of his eye, the lieutenant gives your feet a worried glance. Rain drips from his glasses. The lieutenant nods, then looks east. Behind the gates, heaps of supply crates, red and blue metal shipping containers, slick with rain. The Greater Revachol Industrial Harbor is an artificial mountain range. Immense wealth resides within, and immeasurable poverty in its shadow. La Drusienne, King Dri's passenger harbor. Cruise ships flanked by dock arms, cranes watching over the mouth of the river distributary. Couronne, the lower middle class. Distributary after distributary cuts the city blocks in half. 7-story buildings trail off into the rain. A silvery curtain of rain over the houses. The class divide. You have never been there. They don't need the law east of the river. Tower blocks crowd one another. 4.46mm bullets still lodged in their war-torn stone walls. Hallways collapse from the mortar hits of a war that was lost long ago. Clotheslines go to waste in the rain. Radios play. The news at noon. A yard. Rain falls onto the roof of a woodshed. Coal leaks into a puddle beneath a dead man's feet. He swings from a tree, bloated. Droplets of rain slip from his cold cheeks. A traffic jam. Rain thrumming on the roofs of motor vehicles. Inside, drivers watch water streaming down their windshields. The statue of a king shudders. He too is cold. The canal bridge has been raised. The road ascends. A raised motorway loops above the ghetto. Beneath its concrete columns, a sea of rooftops, woodwork, and tar stretches northward. 4-story buildings as far as the rain can fall. The snows melt in Jamrock. Revachol is the capital of the world. Jamrock is the capital of Revachol. Droplets form on your eyelashes. It's home.
Have a brother in the cut. Where the wood at?
To be in Martinez, where no one goes, at the runoff point of a long-forgotten canal, in the whitest part of town, in the shadow of the day the revolution failed. Standing in the rain, looking north, where Jamrock Rock City stretches inland. In the rain-swept distance, above the rooftops of Jamrock, a repurposed silk mill stands perched above the motorway exit. Precinct 41 hunches in the rain. Your vision blurs. You wipe your face with your hand. The rain stings your eyes. making you look up and blink. Sheets of the skyscrapers of more coalition aerostatics, way up there, where rain forms, rotors flutter silently. Your sight clears. Collapsed storm drains, old sewage systems flooded with rainwater. Hidden weapon caches from the Revolution, doors leading down to Le Royaume, the catacombs to which, for 3 centuries, they delivered the blue-blooded dead.
This rain will not let up anytime soon. At least we are dressed for it. Let's keep moving.
The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down. Simmer down, bastards.
Our tat.
You hold in your hand the colorful primer. The title reads, A Primer for Small Kids. There's a bear involved. Every page has one word designating one letter of the alphabet with a faded illustration. Most of them are scientific and cultural principles. It goes as follows. A is for azimuth. B is for Boreas. H is for homeboy. I is for econ. Q is for quasar. That's it. You know the alphabet now.
Good. I also know the alphabet.
This book will show you the score. Get you oriented with those basic concepts you appear to be hazy on. The anthropomorphic bear will give you the lowdown of your life. The alphabet. See that seagull up there? Remind you of anybody? You and the seagull are just alike. Think about the seagull's story. It's one of endurance and adaptation. The seaside was paradise once. They were birds of that paradise. Then their paradise became shit city. And what did they do? They became urban survivors, eating burgers out of trash cans, killing and eating pigeons. No time for that sentimental bullshit. They're hustlers, getting shit done. They're one pair of track pants away from gangsters, just like you. Own it. Steal hot dogs, shit in the sand, whatever it takes to keep going.
Yes, what is it? The swallow, you mean? What a freight. Thanks.
As you approach, the man turns and greets you with a polite wave.
Ah, super. It's the officer. I was not expecting to run into you again, but things have a funny way of turning out, no? What brings you down to the scenic Martinez coast? My friend, if it's la responsabilité you're after, I have good news for you. There's no need to form such a committee, because it already exists. the Comité de Responsabilité de Revachol. It acts as a sort of clearinghouse for coalition activities. To put it simply, they are the ultimate arbiters of la responsabilité in this part of the world.
Yes, this is just the sort of reasonable authority you're looking for.
I would offer to connect you with the committee myself, but alas, I am not actually in Martinez.
What? Where is he then? He's speaking figuratively. He means he's not in Martinez in his official capacity.
Précisément. Officially, I am still in La Delta, preparing for an upcoming conference on fuel oil derivatives. That's why it would be extremely irregular, or potentially even inappropriate for me to intercede with the committee concerning a district I'm not officially in. Well, under ordinary circumstances, the committee contacts you.
In other words, the committee only knows what it wants to know.
But if you have information of a vital interest, they might be willing to entertain an exception. In which case, I would advise you to contact them via Coalition Warship Archer. You see, in addition to being an airborne artillery platform, Coalition Warship Archer is also the linchpin of the Coalition's surveillance and communications infrastructure in Revachol. And listening. It has the most objective vantage point in the entire city. Not to mention a vast array of radio, photographic, and meteorological monitoring instruments. I find it a great comfort to know there are benevolent powers watching over all, in strict accordance with the Wayfarer Act and the Bristol-Mühne Convention.
The Bristol-Mühne Conventions are a series of international agreements governing the treatment of military personnel and civilians in theaters of war, as well as occupied territories. In practice, they are more talked about than observed.
This is quite the problem. Very tricky. Of course, the Archer has orders to fire on any unidentified aerostatics that might approach it, so it might be safer to get in touch from the ground. But in that case, you would require a radio transmitter capable of broadcasting on coalition frequencies. And that kind of technology naturally isn't typically available for non-coalition use. Yes, it is a bit of a conundrum. I suppose there might be some way to circuit bend your way onto those frequencies, but you'd have to be one of those techno-tinkerers to do it. Unfortunately not, no. I don't have the pleasure. I am merely a representative of the coalition government, not very well versed in technology. But you?
Sounds like something that programmer we met in the church might be able to help with.
Let me just say that I have complete confidence in the RCM. I'm sure you'll figure something out. Well, that's très simple. I was visiting the fishing village just north of here. They have applied for a series of microloans to revitalize the old market. And well, I wish to see the situation firsthand. And then, well, I had some extra time on my hands, so I decided to stroll down here. It's quite peaceful, isn't it? Yes. There's nothing like a stroll along the coast to lift one's spirits. Ah? Is that what those pockmarks are? I might have guessed. Fascinating how much history is contained right here, if only one knows where to look for it.
You feel like there's something you could say here, if only you really knew what was going on.
Ah bon? I'm all ears, officer. And then, well, I had some extra time on my hands, so I did. Really? Here? How can you be sure? Ah? Is that what...
You feel like...
Ah bon? Always...
Yes, what is it? Do I look like someone who has time for side projects at this moment?
If you want her help, maybe you should help her first.
You arrested them? Didn't think the cops in this place had it in them. Yes, what is it?
The mother of humanism stands above you. torn by elements, guards the depot. The wind.
Damn cool, Abigail.
He snorts and beckons you to lean in closer.
Damn cool, Abigail. Damn cool.
There was little chance he'd be a reliable witness anyway.
The legend! He's back. And firstly, I got smokes and piss and a...
I do, but as you can see, my fuel tank is running quite low, if you catch my drift. Then I can't keep on telling the stories.
okay?
So?
Yeah, so? Kuno did sick the pigs on him. Kuno's a man of his word.
Kuno sent your fat ass running around like jello.
Look, pig. Kuno sent you to rough some people up. Kuno played you. That happened. Now you and Kuno should move.
Good idea.
You got fucked. You got fucked, pig. Fucked bad. Of course you're gonna remember this after this shit. You better have something real interesting to say if you want to stay in Kuno's face.
Yeah, real interesting.
The fuck about it? You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost.
Yeah? The kingdom of... Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno doesn't...
The man before you is naked. The payphone hangs mutely on the wall. Rusting control panel with crane does not return to its original position. No screech of metal when you push the button this time. Oh.
Oh, most of the... We're on a strike. The whole union is.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Evrard is in his office, where he always is. But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Evrard sent them on a nice vacation. Like what, mister?
Mr. Dubois, I hear the meeting with Titus was a glowing success. That's such a relief. Titus can be a handful sometimes. Now, what can Everard Clare do for you today? The Golden Boy returns once more. Wonderful. Simply wonderful, Harry. Of course. I already knew this. My friend, the mailman, confirms the letter is on its way. You've done a great thing today. You've given the children of Martinez a real future, Harry, and I feel I can finally trust you now. You're in my inner circle. You too, Mr. Kitsuragi. We can talk about anything. The strike, the murder, your lost gun, nothing is off the table.
Well done, sire. By guile and deceit, you're in. You don't know his full plan. Perhaps he expected trickery. Perhaps the signatures weren't important. The point is, do not think you're ahead of him.
Harry, I've got to be honest with you. Your gun was found 2 days ago. Withholding this information weighed heavily on me, but it had to be done. An old woman has it, and let me tell you, Harry, word on the street is she's a character, so watch out.
This must be the woman who bought the gun from Roy, the one he described as terrifying.
Yes, the same one. I see you've done your research. The pawn shop made the gun easy to track. Crazy stuff, Harry. Selling your gun like that? Wild. Anyway, the neighbors of this old woman contacted my men because they trust me and the Debardeurs Union. Apparently, she was waving it around at the entrance to her building.
Waving the gun around doesn't sound good. None of this does.
Unfortunately, I don't know anymore. You're gonna have to go in blind, Harry. But she's an old lady. How dangerous can she possibly be? Oh, and she calls herself the Pigs.
I, for one, find it refreshing. Finally, someone calls themselves a pig.
As I said, she's a character. I didn't have time for details. It sounds like she's unstable, but don't worry. No one got hurt.
We might be looking at someone with a medical history here. Watch out.
I already have. Tonight, starting 10 o'clock, near the old fish market on the coast, the one on the boardwalk, a little past the fishing village. Be careful, Harry. I would never set you up for anything dangerous, but you did ask for this. Now, back to the fun stuff.
She will be there from 2200 hours till 0200 hours.
More fun stuff. Seems like we already have fun stuff to do.
I did not, Harry. Although I am very, very glad he's dead. Why, a war, of course.
And what do you have to gain from a war?
Victory, Mr. Kitsuragi. I have victory to gain. We are going to start a war with the Wild Pines group and win before they even realize there is a war. I have. It's a great story, Harry. Did you also know how the bee colony kills the giant hornet? They swarm and blanket it entirely until it suffers a massive heat stroke and dies. Harry, we outnumber them 1,500 to 1, and that's just Martinez. With all the unions in Revachol, and with public opinion on our side, we can hold off 2 men, or 15 men, or even 50 men. The more they send, the worse it's going to look for them. They made a huge mistake hiring those guys. No one likes foreign mercenaries. The leftists hate them, the fascists hate them, even the moralists think they're in bad taste. Harry, there is no strike, only war. Class war. Or, in business terms, a dawn raid. Or wait. Is that when you still pay them something? Because we won't do that. We're not gonna give nothing. We're gonna take Terminal B away from them. The roads, the gates, the containers, that big crane, even the damn coffee maker. We're gonna take all of it for the people, and fuck Wild Pines.
The word fuck rings like a gunshot from his mouth. He doesn't swear often.
So that's why you haven't let Joyce in?
Yes. It's also why I let that midget Gaumont go. He's too nice. I can't put him through this. Plus, he knows how to get in here. That woman can't tell her tits from her arsehole. She has no chance. Tits from her arsehole. It's a local saying.
Actually, no, it's not.
Because we're friends, Harry. Besides, it doesn't matter now. You can go tell her if you want. It won't change the course of events. We have a significant head start. It's already happening. 2,372. Plus yours truly, of course.
2,373 is a sizable contingent for a labor organization in Rev.
Oh, you mean what sort of goods are going to be flowing through? How am I going to replace all the contacts we'll lose once the poo-poo hits the fan? The clients will ditch us. Harry, we've thought of everything.
Clients would take a well-known multinational conglomerate over a local mobster any day.
Sure, some will go, but mark my words. The company will be unpleasantly surprised to see how many of them stay loyal to Martinez and to the new competitive contracts we can offer. With renewed zeal sparked by communal ownership, the men will be shipping those containers double time. You'll be surprised to see how fast things go without parasites latching on. We'll have our hands free to pursue bold, exotic new revenue streams.
That's drugs.
Drug trafficking.
Drug trafficking? Don't be stupid, Mr. Kitsuragi. There are perfectly legal, 100% ethical chemical factories on the Samaran Isola. You don't need to be colonialist about it. All they do is produce components to keep the pharmaceutical industry running. That's people's health we're talking about. Old grannies, little babes, people with disabilities. The company thinks transporting these chemicals in bulk looks bad, has bad optics, may be illegal in some countries. The Debarders Union, however, we're all about the large volume column.
In bulk shipping, large volume column is a major buyer, a shark.
We're gonna transport the living daylights out of those materials, Harry. So your sick kid can get his Benefed and your wacky uncle doesn't have to come off risperidone.
Benefed is a children's cold medicine, usually apricot flavored, and risperidone is used to treat severe psychosis.
And the kids on the street can get speed and pyrrolidone.
I'm an old-fashioned guy, Mr. Kitsuragi. I sometimes grab a beer with the boys, but I have no idea about the things you just mentioned. But if I were to supply ingredients for some sort of rainbow party, I would make sure the Union took a fantastic share, and I'd keep that stuff far away from Martinez.
He's basically admitting to it.
You know why you're such a good detective, Harry. You don't get sidetracked. You care about the people you're supposed to protect, not some systems that may or may not be unethical. Anyway, let's not focus on the sensationalism of the drug trade. This hypothetical drug trade is all anyone ever seems to be interested in. It would only be a small part of the harbor's turnover, just like the harbor is, but a small part of Martinez. Let's look at the big picture. Martinez as a whole. There are little girls out there with dreams of making music. Young mothers who want to start businesses. Models who want to walk catwalks and steel welders who want to weld steel. I'm gonna unite them all into one economic body. We're gonna incorporate this place to Kingdom Come. Everyone's gonna be in on the wealth, and everyone's gonna pull their weight.
Let's keep focusing on the drug trade. He was almost admitting to it.
No, Harry. That's boring. All right, it's gone. The hypothetical raw materials trade is off the table. It's such a small and insignificant slice of revenue, I'm cutting it. Boys, Harry felt queasy about it. We're not doing it. Can we talk about my beautiful incorporated Martinez and its many-sided business ventures now? This bold new vision of incorporated socialism I'm offering? Harry, the length you're willing to go to keep your nose clean is remarkable. You will always have a warm bed in Mr. Clare's household, my friend, and a special place in the future of Martinez. We're way past specific union members now. This is the big time. We're talking about the future of Revachol here, Harry. You can bother Leonard with that. He loves to run his mouth on such matters. But I'm in big-time mode, Harry.
There's something different about him now. He's more vibrant, more alive in his big-time mode.
Harry, by now you should know I would never do anything tricky like that. However, if the construction noise and limited street access makes some people consider moving, well, let's just say there'll be freshly renovated buildings near the roundabout where those poor people can finally enjoy a significant uptick in quality of life. I'm talking real affordable workers' palaces.
He proudly spreads his hands to demonstrate the size of the palaces. They're very large.
So the village is doomed.
You were there, you saw the place, a wasteland, there's nothing left. But mark my words, officers, we are going to reset it. Reset. I have big plans for Martinez, and they do not include humans living in those pig sheds on the coast. That land will be used for municipal buildings and commerce. Harry, imagine a youth centre supermarket church complex, employing hundreds, no, thousands of people. The coast will be lit up with enterprise and life. All those ruins out there turned into low-income housing. Harry, enough is enough. We're taking this district back. The war was 50 years ago, for God's sake. It's time to move on. Yes, I do. I got the centre, I got room for a retail complex, and in 4 years, I'll get the church too. The wheels are already turning, Harry. The wheels of progress. This post-war limbo, I won't stand for it. There are kids practically playing with their own feces out there. It cannot go on.
And then there will be a giant statue of him, towering above it all.
I'm not a symbolist, Harry. I'm a realist. My statue will be Martinez rebuilt. 5-story building complexes, kids off speed, and landowners in a zone hating me. That will be my statue. And yours. We're doing this together. Damn right I'm up to something, Harry. I'm gonna make the working man as rich as Joyce Messier. That's my job. Just like yours is to keep the peace. Great, Harry, great. I think we've truly built a bridge between Martinez and Jamrock today. We have united the RCM and the Debarders Union. This has been so great. I'm sorry we don't have more fun things to do together, but if you ever feel like bouncing something off me, my door is always open. I'm always happy to educate and entertain you, my friend. So, what's on your mind? Very nice, Harry. Is there anything else?
Mr. Evrat doesn't really want me to talk to people about union guys. But who did you want to talk about? He's a union man through and through. Good guy. He's very calm, laid back, doesn't do much, talks to Evrat sometimes. Honestly, I don't know what he does for us, but it must be important because everybody likes him. Yes, they do. I think that's what he does. He makes everyone feel a little better. Whoa, he's really something. He doesn't talk much to me usually, but when he does, I don't really understand most of what he's saying. Actually, I don't think he would like me running my mouth about him like that. Once he said he's a dragon to this mob fellow who came picking a fight with some union men. I think he really believes Jean-Luc was a dragon because he ran right off. Another time he almost killed another guy, but I shouldn't talk about that. Mr. Edgar is Mr. Evrat's brother. He looks a bit younger, he does, but a very smart fellow. Very smart fellow indeed. He's away on some union business. Not even in Revachol, they say. All kinds of places he visits. Him and his brother both do when they're on a vacation. Right now, it's Mr. Evrat's turn to look after the Union. But last year he spent a whole winter in South Africa. Left with the first autumn rains and didn't come back before the trees were green again.
South Safari. A lot of bulk chemical manufacturing going on there. A lot of cargo shipments being made too.
Oh, Titus is a longshoreman through and through. He was born on a boat, they say. His veins are probably filled with salt water, I tell you. Nice, friendly sort, old Titus is.
He's probably one of those rare specimens who are born when two drunk seamen stumble on top of each other on the deck amidst a storm so violent it flings whales around.
The night guard. Ooh, he's a peculiar fellow. He's the strong, silent type, you could say. We talk all the time, but I don't really know much about him. He plays petanque with my old human studies teacher, Mr. Martin, down at the plaza. I think he's the only fellow who actually knows old Renee. They lived on the same street their entire lives. Even dated the same girl on and off for as long as I can remember. Strange fellows. Mr. Martin was always real nice to me in school. I remember once. Mr. Martin, yes. Don't really remember much about him. I was just a boy back then. I'd best not. I mean, I could, but I don't think Mr. Everett would like it very much. You better ask him yourself, mister. Sure, mister. What can Leo do for you? Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, where he always is. And Jean-Luc is guarding the gate. But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so. Whoa, I'm not really supposed... Him and his boy stirred up something in town. I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details. Well, that's just how boys are, you know. I haven't been in a fight since I was in middle school.
Easy, Leo. Let's keep this on the hearties.
Look at him. It's not going to be anything useful anyway. Don't fight it. Better to go with the flow. Too late. Leo's mouth is still moving, and the words are spewing forth. Words, words, and look, even more words. This guy could go on till the end of days. Now he's talking about some drunk sawmill owner who... No, he already switched to a prized fishing rod he apparently owned at some point. You know what? Just cut in there with your questions.
Hola, wandering man. How can I... Los Ardis? They're sort of like you. Preserve the rule of law and all that.
Hey, was there something you needed?
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you...
Yes? What is it?
Again? I can't believe this shit.
Hi again, gendarme. Bye-bye, gendarme.
Officer, it's a fine day for questions.
She looks back. Time moves slowly. The triangles of her face rearranging into a weary smile. Don't worry. We will protect you from her beauty. We will consult you through the reefs and sounds of her persona. We will see through deceits. You are shielded. You are wise. You are advised. There are muscles on long white bones that line her limbs, just below the silver jumpsuit. Miss Oranje Disco Dancer, you want to put your hand on her back and feel it arch. The strange moment ends. It was brief, no longer than 2.2 seconds. This window is pristine on the inside. mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your clean-shaven face, adorned with the expression.
It's you again. What is it? And that fucking fucker. You're the worst cops in Revachol. I gave you gold on that tape.
That fucker wasn't aimed at you. It was at her.
Locker room talk. What are you, fucking brain dead? I've been to plenty of locker rooms. They don't plan rapes there. What did she have to say then? Fine by her? This is what people are supposed to be like? Fucking whoop-de-doo.
Yes. In fact, I think she thought it was a little funny.
Funny? No good goddamn psycho whore.
Seems like they wanted to give Claudia a second chance to play along. She still didn't.
Alright. All fucking righty then. I guess it's good then. That fucking...
Please try to control yourself in the presence of visitors, Titus.
Okie dokie. This is just perfect. Just fucking perfect. Any thoughts on this, lawman?
You don't have to say everything out loud. Just mix and match.
Yeah, maybe. That is a possibility. Nah, I know her. She's just a girl, in over her head. Handled him? She got into some stupid shit with that guy. Shit we had to take care of.
Yes, we heard all about it, and the fact still stands. You were more disturbed by the tape than her.
I already told you. We fucking hanged him.
Come on, Titus. The stakes are too high here. There will be blood on the streets. The tribunal, remember. I know you're tired. Why don't you just...
You know what? I am tired. I'm tired of you. Them. and the whore upstairs. Next time you see her, tell her Titus said, "Fuck off!" That lying, scamming. We're done. This is over. You understand? Your little investigation is over.
Yeah.
On the floor, beer drips out of the can into a small puddle. No one does anything about it.
What is this quiet funeral shit? All we need is some beers in us. Bartender, 20 beers for the Dock Workers Union.
Why do we make it 40, huh? Why do we make it 100 beers? You're not loud enough.
100 beers? Now we're talking. Hoppity hop over here, cafeteria manager.
The window might be closing. The more beers they get in them, the less cooperative they will be. Convince Titus he's being manipulated. You should know by now. Titus Hardy will never falter. But you know someone who might. Fat Angus, the powerful guy, Mr. All Muscle. The time has come. Put him in the pressure cooker. Just remember, it's about more than Glasia. It's about these men and Martinez, their district, their responsibility. Outside, in the midday sun, ruins. The pavements are cracked and the benches peeling. Newspapers blow in the wind. Fat Angus, just remember it's about more than class. Outside, in the... Huh? He'll get it. Go on.
Got it. Kill you because they don't like you. All because...
Bring that up one more time, and you won't get to write that report.
Yes, I understand, Alain. That's your name, right, Alain? You'll kill us. That's what they do in the Wild North.
It wasn't that. It wasn't... We didn't hit him, okay?
That's it. That's the weak one. You flushed him out. Now go in for the...
Officer, you will be next if you don't shut up.
Firearm. A Glass 08 or a 38 caliber pistol. Either is small enough for you to have missed. He's onto you. He knows what you're trying to do. Steel yourself. Push on. Just ignore Theo.
We didn't kill him. We didn't even hang him. He was dead when...
Shut up, Angus!
Fatty! Say one more thing to the cops and I'll...
Dennis, stand down, or I'll beat your head in. Theo, take your hand off the belt. This isn't 31. I've got this under control.
The room falls quiet. So quiet, you can hear Angus wheeze.
Angie, where's your goddamn inhaler? You sound like you're dying.
I left it home. I can't get it. I'm too fucked. I'm sorry.
Why are you so fucking fat, Angus? Now it's all pointless. Because of you. You wasted my time. I told you, Titus. I told you just give her up.
Lizzie, your help is no longer needed here. Go tell Everard.
Fine. I'll tell him. After a long walk along the coast.
You're in. He's all yours. Questions? He nods.
You hang the corpse to cover up the real cause of death. What was it?
We're not sure. Probably a bullet. The wound was difficult to see.
At least you'll know what to look for now, when you get around to doing the autopsy.
'Cause the girls asked us to. They were in some shit.
Girls plural? There's another girl? 2 of them? Take note of this. They'll probably say more about her later.
Did she kill him?
Cop, I have no idea. The girl says she didn't. Classier came down. She seemed really out of it. Drugged up, even more than usual. Bug-eyed and gurning, you know? Not in a fun way. It looked like she'd redosed after something went down. I've seen that look before. She was scared. I knew someone had died. I've done this job for 10 years. I've seen it before. It's the politician in the motel room with the dead hooker scenario. Only in reverse.
Good analogy, boss.
You don't get to talk yet, Shanky. You're still on the bench. And you keep taking it easy too, Angus.
That's okay with the fat man, still wheezing there. He couldn't speak if he wanted to.
We went upstairs. Sure as day the Merc was dead. There was a bullet hole through the window. Fucking dirty sheets and bottles everywhere.
He means they'd been fucking?
Tibbs patched the window. And the corpse. We hanged. Yeah. He's my brother. He's in the window replacement business.
Tibbs. That's short for?
Yeah. Good man.
Bet their father's named Atticus Hardy. Lucretia Hardy would be their sister. Anyway.
You may have noticed our girl's in some shit of her own. The can't show up on police radar kind. There are people after her. From the old world. Where she came from. They're powerful. Connected to the moral intern. She's clearly afraid for her life. Says if she showed up in your systems, she'd be ghosted away.
That's all he knows. That's all she's told him.
And why would you help someone like that? By taking on a murder?
Why would I? I guess we abide all sorts of runaways and losers here. It's a Martinez thing. Not yet. Just some ideas. She says the shot came from outside, behind the window somewhere. So that's a clue. I'm thinking someone's past caught up with them. Either hers or his.
Hers, you mean?
I mean the people after Clausia. Maybe the shot missed. Maybe it was meant for her.
I like that. Been thinking the same thing myself.
My dude. One of those mercenary buddies of his could have done it. They got guns. Training. Years of bad blood, probably. Or it Could have been someone else from Crenell. Tell you what I'd do. Check out the coast for vantage points. Maybe consult with a ballistics buddy of mine. That's what I'd do if I wasn't too busy doing this clown dance with you.
He's calm now, threw all that turmoil away and became himself again. These theories, not bad. Don't buy either one, but still, this guy's not as dumb as he looks.
In a manner of speaking.
Remember the two girls? He may be talking about the other one.
That's right. It was her idea to hang him. I liked it, for political reasons. It sent a good message. Fella, you think too much. He's off all right. You're gonna hurt your head. That woman is just affiliated with the Hardy Boys. You don't know her, anyway. We're Hardy Boys, and that's it. Nope. You're not getting to her. It's Klasia you want to talk to. Me too.
The lieutenant gives a smile only you can see.
You do that. Hey, cop. Before you go.
Suddenly, the wind picks up outside. You hear it rattling the large windows in their frames. It carries newspapers, circles the whirling in rags in a warm column.
She, Klasia, came to Martinez to hide. Many of us did. This is where you wash up when there's nowhere left to go. The Union takes you in. Now, that's right. If we didn't take care of the people who end up here, this place would just be a couple of ruins.
We'll take that into account.
It's always good to see you. I understand.
Just like that. No resistance. Her shoulders are slouched, her feet long and straight.
I know. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. For all of this, for wasting your time.
This is good. Clear the air first, between you two, then move on to questions. Is it? Something is off here. Shush, I can't hear what she's saying. Let the miss speak. She's tall and thin and tired. A twig trying so hard not to break.
Why did you waste our time then?
Because of the Hardys. I couldn't just dispense with them. They were only trying to help me. Out of the shit I'd gotten into. You're right. There's more. You answer to the coalition government, and by extension, the moral intern.
Briefly glancing over her shoulder to the sea, as she's done time and time again. A grand expanse of water reaches over the bay and to the horizon, golden grey in the moonlight. The Pale, the Muindi Isola, the Occident, and then Oranje, the old, old world.
You share a database with them. You send people to their courts. I have people after me, and they have friends in the moral intern. Some are moral intern. If I show up in your records, officer, they will find me. They will.
What happens if they do?
They will kill me, sir. If you file my name, take me in for questioning, enter me into the moral intern mill, well, then I'm fucked. For nothing. This murder didn't have anything to do with me.
Fucked? People after her? Moral intern people? This isn't Oranese lit. Actually, this murder did have a little to do with her.
It's not nice, but it's not illegal. Not here in Revachol, or even in Oranje.
What exactly did you do?
Industrial espionage. I joined a business collective with the intention of betraying them. I did my job well enough to be asked to do it again, with a bigger company. The kind you really, really don't fuck with. I took their ledgers, 2 decades worth of accounting.
I need the names of the companies involved and who hired you.
The job was Lewis County Savings Bank. They sound small, but they're part of the Lewis Scott conglomerate. That was the second job. The first was some printer company. You wouldn't know them. As to who hired me for the job, I don't know. But they're after me too, along with Lou Scott and their friends in the MI. Once you're done in the competitive intelligence circuit, you don't have allies. You're radioactive.
Lowe's cap. These people engineer financial disasters in second world countries. The conglomerate also includes the Bank of Consecration, Airberg, and the popular Papalolo line of dairy products.
Yeah. Papa fucking Lolo wants to kill me. I am a destroyer. People lost their jobs. Good people. Not just C-suite assholes. And the way I got into accounting. A lot of people got hurt. But that's just more of my shit you shouldn't have to deal with. You're solving a murder. I did. I also had a side job selling insurance that I was really good at. Got picked up by a bank. Competitive intelligence, they called it. After that, I sort of, transitioned out of the whole culture scene. We were there. Together. In bed, I mean. Okay. He was in a kneeling position. He had just entered me. I was on my back, looking at him. I heard the window behind me shatter, and I turned to look. There was a hole in the glass. I turned back to him. His eyes were looking through me, and his mouth was open. Dumb. I could see.
Her chest rises and falls with each word. She keeps herself together and says it.
I knew he was dead. before he fell down on top of me. No, I want to. Let's get this done.
It's okay. Tell us as much as you're comfortable with.
He was heavy. I pushed him off and he fell to the floor. There. He only had his boots on. I bit the pillow, not to scream, then ran downstairs. I waited for the second shot to come. For me. I thought there would be one. It never came.
She's forgotten about her cigarette. The butt has burned right down to her fingernails.
Oh. So am I.
What time was this? When did it happen? It would help us if you could be as precise as possible.
11:30 to 12:15. I don't know the exact time. Around midnight.
It's okay. Were you inebriated?
Not as much as usual. He'd done a line, plus other things. I was drinking.
Wait. Titus said she was gurning her jaw off, much more than usual.
Oh, yeah. I did one of his lines, just to clear my head.
Good thinking. Clear your head. You should clear your head. Get into his mindset.
Did you hear or see the shooter in the course of this?
No. Nothing. I was trapped. I was stuck in my room downstairs. I got some clothes on and crawled back up, drew the blinds. Blood was coming from his mouth. Not a lot. Just a little. He was still on the floor, slouched. I couldn't be there with him anymore. So I ran down and out of my room, into the hallway, down the stairs. I knew there would be people there. Sylvie was tending the bar. A lot of people were there. The Hardys were at the table in front of the stage. I think the Union box was full. Ruby was there too. They were having such a good time. I sat down and they all welcomed me. I didn't even have to say anything. Ruby knew something was wrong.
Ruby?
Ruby. You know, the leader.
The leader? Of what?
The Hardy Boys. Well, nominally, yes. Ruby's the one they go to when things happen, like things they need taken care of. She's the organizer.
Would you say she is the 8th Hardy Boy?
Why not? Well, Ruby said let's talk up. She said she'd take care of this. That's what she does, you know, take care of things. I helped her get the body to the bathroom. We used a belt to pull him up under the shower, to keep him upright.
To mislead you, they were tampering with the body.
To produce lividity, matching a hanging?
Yes.
This is concurrent with your doubts at the autopsy about the coloring being. This tactful approach will rob you of the glory. But hey, all I care about is angles and timetables. The loss is yours.
Ruby went outside to talk to Titus and the boys. I was just looking at Lely in the bathroom. I had to put his clothes back on. His armor, too. It was tough, but I've seen him take it off and put it on many times. It took Ruby maybe half an hour to come back with Titus. I'd gotten him ready by then. They carried him out. I knew what they were going to do. Make it look like a hanging. Ruby said they would. Ruby said to wait here. She also said I wouldn't see her for a while. That we should lay low or something. So I did. I don't know. I haven't seen her since.
We will need to take this question to the Hardy Boys.
Interesting. Why did this Ruby go through so much trouble to hide something someone else did? Look into this later.
When he was shot? I may have. I don't know. I couldn't hear anything over the glass exploding.
The gunshot wasn't that loud. This is something to keep in mind when assessing the distance of the shot.
What? Why would I put myself through this insanity? Get myself cornered like this? He wouldn't have died if it weren't for me. I know that. But I would never hurt him.
All kinds of crazy things happen when drugs are involved. Sweet, sweet drugs. He was a serviceman. He must have had a gun. Somewhere. Now, you guys suddenly have theories pouring out, when they're obviously just stabs in the dark.